So you've been given a graph and you want to shift it. Maybe it's a sine graph, maybe it's an exponential, maybe it's a quadratic, it really doesn't matter. It could be anything. Take this graph for example. I bet you don't know what this is. I doubt most people would. This is a funny looking graph, but it will work doing the same thing here as we would do for whatever graph you wanted to give us. So let's say this is f of x. And what we want to do is we want to find f of x minus h plus k. Well, let's look at each part one at a time. So first off, the h. What does h do? It moves things to the right. So if I take a point, say this point right here, it's going to move it to the right by h. So this point ends up right over here. And that's going to happen on every single point that we have. So say this point, where does that go? Well, we're going to move it over h. This point over here gets moved over h. Every single point on this line will be moved over by h. Next, let's look at k. Now that we've moved a point over h, next we take that same point and we'll move it up by k. And every single point gets moved up to k, by k. Since every point on the line happens that way, this new graph is just going to look like this. So every single point got moved over h and up by k. Now you might be thinking, this is a little different than your teacher taught it. And yes, this is a little bit different because generally speaking, when you're taught a specific equation, you're taught to look at one specific point. But in reality, it's every single point. For example, if I give you y equals x minus h squared plus 2, we're going to look at the vertex. The vertex, let's say k here, the vertex will be h and k. And so you'll be taught all of this based on moving the vertex. But in fact, every single point will be moved exactly the same. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. That way you don't miss out on any more helpful tips. Also, be sure to check out my next video where I'm going to give some more specific examples.